Hello.
Oh, good morning. Nice to have you come here. I'm Savita with Bulb Bliss. Right now we're in August. Seasons are starting to change, and I really want to introduce people to a particular bulb that does great at this time of year in August, September and all, with beautiful blooms and with beautiful foliage. And I invite you to come to our farm stand, at 4451 Miles Avenue, to come check these out if you wish. So this is a plant that is called the Eucomis, E-U-C-O-M-I-S. And I'll tell you why I get excited about Eucomis. The first thing is that it's gorgeous. A lot of the varieties will have this beautiful green fluted edge with some purple highlights in it. Then beyond that, it's called also the pineapple lily, and you can see why. The bloom stalk looks like a pineapple. It's not a pineapple, it's not a lily, it's a Eucomis. But what happens is that this little stalk will come up about this time of year and will present its blossoms, and the blossoms start at the bottom of this little stalk, and they progressively bloom upward. And that's another beautiful thing about it, is that the blooms just go on and on. The bees love it, and probably one of the most important things is that the gophers don't eat them. and, and for my gophers, that's a plus, because they don't like them. That's great. I want to show you a couple places in the garden where the Eucomis are growing really strong, because not only are they a wonderful landscaping plant that comes back year after year without any problem, it also is a wonderful thing to do as a gift. Like, I've just put a bow on this, and I think it's a pretty lovely gift for somebody who's a gardener or a budding gardener. And the other thing is that they can be put into containers and be really beautiful in containers also. And I'll show you a couple of those. Okay, so here's a beautiful example of how Eucomis will grow inside of a container. Now this container full is probably about 4 years old, and you can see how they do gradually expand over time. So about 4 years ago, this started as one plant, and now they're probably 5 or 6 plants. And these are the stalks. What's incredible about them also is that even after they have bloomed, they create this statuesque, ongoing, beautiful stalk. I mean, what's not to love, about all of this? So that there are seeds that are forming now inside the florets, and still it's so beautiful. Okay, ongoing. Here is one of the Eucomis. There are, of course, lots of varieties of Eucomis, as you can imagine. This is one of the large ones that I'm particularly fond of. Okay, so I'm almost 5 feet tall. So these stalks are certainly 4 feet plus. I love these stalks. You can just see how incredible, what a statuesque appearance they do in the garden. Do you know that there are varieties all the way from these really grandiose ones down to chiquito, or very small ones that are about 6 inches tall, which means that you have an enormous variety and can choose what's appropriate for your box, your container, or your garden.
Let's get a nice good look at the stalk here.
So, of course, what you see all over Sonoma County at this time are what are called the Amaryllis Belladonis. Even though they're blooming all over the place right now, which is just such a delight to the eye and to the nose, their fragrance is wonderful. I want you to see what the bulb looks like, because while they are in their dormancy at this time, it's the perfect time to be planting amaryllis bulbs if you don't have them in the landscape right now. what's incredible about the Amaryllis bulbs or the Belladonna bulbs is that they're huge. You put them in the landscape, you forget about them, and they don't care. They don't need any care. They're absolutely independent of our care. Can you imagine? Which is why you see them all along roadsides and fence lines and all. Is because people put them in, forget about them, and then they do that beauty in the early fall, late summer like this. But during the winter time, they're also producing these beautiful dark green strap leaves. What's not to love about Amaryllis Belladonis? So I do have some bulbs available here, even this size, which is an incredible size with a couple babies already. And this is what they do. They expand themselves too once they're happy in your landscape. The other couple things that I want you to know about over here are what we call the Clumping Oxallis. Some people freak out when they hear the word oxalis because there is a variety of oxalis that is super duper invasive. That's not this. This is one of the most beautiful Clumping Oxallis because of the color of the leaves. If you put them in the landscape, they're little tiny funny looking bulbs. You put them in the landscape, they will come back year after year. They will expand themselves gradually. They'll usually die back in the winter time, but you can take your little container and bring it inside, and they will go ahead and stay green. No, they will stay purple throughout the winter time. So it also makes a really nice indoor plant. So that's these Triangularis, they're called. The other one that I want you to know about is, of course, the Asparagus Fern. A lot of people know about, but oh my God, they can make such an incredibly wonderful indoor plant or outdoor plant if it's in a protected area. So this kind of greenery that just stays green, and they continue to produce new fronds, and it can get droopy. I have one on the porch over here outside. These fronds are 4.5 feet long. So if they're really super duper happy in your area, you can really give them a space to expand. But wonderful also for some indoor greenery. That's what we got right now on our stand. Our farm stand is brand new, which I'm very excited about because there's the possibility to continue to add new product as the time goes on here. And of course, in the early fall, I will have so many bulbs here, you'll have a hard time choosing. Come visit us.